and welcome, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Welcome to your timeless soulmate read. Well, being recorded in November 2020. Whenever you watch this, I am your reader, Mark Angelo, lYONS, Mal for short, professional witch, professional intuitive, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, Leo Rising, the Archangel of lYONS, Mark Angelo, lYONS. But my friends call me Mal, so please do. Hi. Welcome back, my subscribers, my Leos, my lYONS. Love you all so much. Your love and support, your creative, fun, fifth house energy has been keeping me aloft, along with other signs, obviously. But I'm truly grateful and truly thankful for your subscriptions, your likes, your comments, your subscribes. You guys are great. And if you are new to my channel, and if you like the video, please do like it. If you like me, how I'm working here, please subscribe to the channel. Feel free to comment. And of course, the notification bell has become a more and more important factor of being a YouTuber. So if you're going to subscribe, I put out content at a pretty steady stream. A lot going on nowadays, but glad to be doing it. That out of the way, let's talk about this reading, shall we? We are doing a timeless soulmate contract read for you and a particular soulmate contract partner. Now, your soulmates, you have many of them in one life. The bottom line of a soulmate contract is you help each other heal. So think of the people that you have helped heal, who have helped you heal in exchange, that even give and take, different than a twin flame contract, very different from a twin flame contract. There are links in the description box below defining the difference. It's a new definition, but it makes a hell of a lot more sense than what's been going on for the past 100 years in terms of twin flame soulmate in the popular culture, if not even before that. There's been an evolution. Go check it out. And you have soulmates of many kinds, right? My mom and I, our soulmate contract have been since birth. We came in to help each other heal, and boy, have we. Doesn't mean we always got along. I was a hellion to raise as a Leo rising teenager. Mars conjunct Leo rising, that's fun. But these readings that we're looking at are the romantic sexual ones because they've been the hardest ones. They've been the most challenging in terms of our spiritual growth, our soul's evolution, lifetime after lifetime. And we've been incarnating with some of these souls 5, 6, 7 times. Hopefully this is the one where we get to manifest it into its highest, most fulfilling reality, what I call the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract. So whether you know each other or not, we're going to have a look at the contract. We're going to have the divine feminine over here, just party number one. It really has very little to do with bodily gender. It has nothing to do with bodily gender. It's the yin dynamic, the internal, the divine feminine. We'll have the divine masculine over here. Party number 2 in the contract. I was raised by a lawyer. And the center lane will be the contract itself, what they're both experiencing from higher dimensional points of view. So you're going to have to suss out which one you are. It's usually pretty easy. We're only doing 12 cards in this spread. And then there's an extended on Vimeo, an extra 12 cards, which is why I'm shooting for 30,000 subscribers so that I can put them as member content here. You pay one price, you get them all the extended videos for the soulmate reads and whatever ones I do it for. But right now, I'm putting everything over on Vimeo until I get there. That's why your subscribes are important. It just makes things easier for everybody, but I'll still continue to upload them in both places. So it's a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. This could certainly play itself out in another one of your signs that I'm doing, right? So if this is your sun sign, do check out your moon. But if you've got other sexual romantic interests going on that may be soulmate based, you might want to check them out. So by the end of this reading, you should have a pretty good idea of who's who, if this is even your reading, right? Pay attention to what's going on in your body. Breathe, stay in the present moment. I will do the same to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can. All the decks that I read are in the bottom of the description box, but like I said, there are some cool links you might want to check out. If you find my the way that I read, why I read soulmates and twin flames differently, you'll see there's a bunch in there. Cool. I guess that's about it. That's a lot of explanation, but you know, we have new people. So I do things differently apparently. So let's do that thing let's go do that do that I do so well. Breathe. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to look at your soulmate contract, my Leos? Please, my collective pantheons of angels, goddesses, gods, masters, and the higher selves of all involved. Please, I need 3 cards in clarity. One for the divine feminine, one for the divine masculine, and one for the overall contract. And that card will be the first card turned over in the extended reading over on Vimeo, but I put up a preview at the end, so if you stay to the end, you get to see what the archetype for the contract itself is, right? So please, one for the Divine Feminine in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, November 2020 or timeless, please. One for the Divine Masculine contract partner, and please one for the overall Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract that we are looking at for November 2020 or timeless, which will be the first card turned over, as I said, in the extended reading, but if you stick around for the preview, you'll see what that is. All right. Who's our couple? Now, archetypes are tricky. I always say it. They're supposed to be a little triggery. They're shadow and light. The shadow is what you don't want to see within yourself usually, or if you know about it, you don't want anybody else to see it, right? You keep it in the shadow. But this is the lead, the shadow, the toxicity that you are helping each other heal on a soul journey, soul contract level. So the light is what you are shooting for. So who do we got here? Holy, wow. We've got the Divine Feminine Warrior archetype, which is intense enough, but we've got the Divine Masculine Avenger, power couple, right? It's like Wonder Woman and Captain America. Seriously. Wow. Now, again, not about bodily gender here, but the vibe, like, that's a lot. That's a lot. These two together, like, I can imagine when they fight, it's a fight, but if they're helping each other heal, whether they know each other or not, they are moving in a very similar direction. I mean, the warrior archetype is definitely action family of archetype, but as is the Avenger. So they're even coming, presenting themselves symbolically in terms of the soul journey they're on, to be in the same family, the action family of archetypes. That's really cool. The shadow attribute for her, I have to say her and him just to keep it straight in my head. It's not about bodily gender. I just want to get a tattoo that says it's not about bodily gender. The shadow attribute. Trading ethical principles for victory at any cost. Now, come on. That's the American way in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? But that shadow side of it, right? Trading ethical principles, you get what I'm saying. Well, so the Divine Feminine, if you're this Divine Feminine, you're really, there's a thing here in this contract about your ethics, right? What are your principles? Indifference to the suffering inflicted by others. And look, we all get there when we're possessed by pain, when we're enraged, right? Rage and anger, wrath is often the external manifestation of pain that we don't deal with, right? We get possessed by pain. So the light side of this that you're shooting for, that this contract is helping you heal into, strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, which means toughness of choice, like stick-to-itiveness, heroism, stoicism. You know, like, look up that word stoic, what it means to be stoic. It's like maybe you really need to kind of like not rein in your emotion and repress them, but hold them, right? Let them, you embrace them, don't let them embrace you, right? And self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. That's that part of it, right? It's saying, no, I'm feeling this way, but I'm not gonna let this possess me. I'm not gonna let me win at all costs, particularly in a soulmate contract, right? But you're dealing with the Avenger. I don't know how much an Avenger or Divine Masculine is gonna let you get away with that shadow, depending on how much shadow he's in. The shadow attribute, resorting to violence in the name of a cause, right? So, like I said, if these two are in their shadow, this is scary. Like, and Leo energy, oh yeah, that sounds like a fun weekend. But now catch the light. As dark as the shadow is as bright as the light in every single archetype that exists. Desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. This could be a social justicer, a second waver, Divine Masculine, right? So you put these two together in their shadow, which if you've had a dance before, maybe that was a conflict. Maybe it was violent. Maybe it was, even if not physically violent, verbally violent. Right? Emotionally violent, mentally violent. But the two of them together could really join forces to help heal this world, even through their relationships. And that's the quantum entanglement. As one of you heals, the other one heals through the soulmate contract of quantum entanglement. But then as your love grows and becomes and manifests into form, that affects the quantum field, right? And that's why these soulmate contracts are way more important than just us getting our stuff touched, or having a boyfriend or a girlfriend, right? Or a lover. No matter what your situation is, right? Single, polyamorous, married, whatever soulmate contract you're in, romantic, sexually, these are important. Because the more love that you two have for each other and the more you heal through unity consciousness, we're all healing. So a warrior and avenger, that's intense. So those are 2 of the 12 cards. Remember this 13 one, I have no idea what it is. That'll be turned over in the preview and in the beginning of the extended reading. So we're going to get 5 cards. Daughters of the Moon Tarot to clarify fire, earth, air, water, and spirit for the Divine Feminine. We're going to use the Mythic Tarot to do the same for the Divine Masculine. We're going to get all 10 of those on the table, and then we're going to turn them over element by element together. So fire and fire, earth and earth. You get the idea. Breathe. Yeah, I did a lot of prayer and meditation this morning. I'm on point. I could feel it. I got a lot of these to do today, and I just pray that they're like, take breaks, do the deal. But as a Leo, I can feel myself in that Divine Feminine warrior of like, all right, strength, skill, discipline, we're going to do this. Breathe. My goddesses, the Divine Yin, the Divine Feminine of the universe, please. I need 5 cards in clarity for the Divine Feminine warrior in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign, happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract, November 2020 or timeless, please. I'll call them out as I go. Please, element of fire, what is it that she really desires in this contract? Element of earth, what does she have? The fuel to feed the fire, to help her get what she wants in this contract. Element of air, what does she predominantly think about this contract? Remember, this is all November 2020 or timeless. What does she feel? Her element of water, predominantly about this contract. That was nice and clear. And most importantly, the card of spirit. What is the point of view or the voice of the soul that was chosen to incarnate, to play this pre-written scripted role in this contract, this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, satisfying soulmate contract for this Divine Feminine warrior in this Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign read. All right, we got her done. Let's get him done, like I said, and then we'll flip them over to fires, to earths, to airs, etc. Breathe. My gods, the Divine Masculine, Apollo in particular, god of healing, god of art, god of the sun, and also god of clairvoyance and vision. Please, I need 5 cards in clarity, my beloved. For this Divine Masculine Avenger archetype, which I can feel your vibe in that. That's very Leo. Both of these could be Leos, or there's placements in there, because I can feel that both sides pretty strong. So please, element of fire, what does this Divine Masculine want, right? What is their want, their will, their desire in this soulmate contract? Element of earth, what is the fuel that feeds that fire that they already have to help him get what he wants in this contract? Element of air, what is he predominantly thinking about it? This contract. Element of water, what is he predominantly feeling? That's 2. Just 1, please. Please, what is he feeling there? I got that. I feel that. I feel that. And again, most importantly, the card of spirit. What is the point of view, the voice of the soul that was chosen to incarnate as this Divine Masculine Avenger in this happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, blah, 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 November 2020. All right, let's get down to it. Now it's all on the table. No more cards are hitting the table for this. You got to wait until the extended and the preview. Okay, well, what they want. There's very slow and steady wins the race here. So there's nobody rushing here. We've got the Capricorn card here, which, yes, could mean that what she wants is if this Divine Masculine is a Capricorn, again, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus. I play less with the zodiac that way, and in this deck, the word Capricorn is written on the card, so it takes some of the vagueness out of it being all 3 earth signs. But I think more what this is saying is that she wants the long term. She wants something durable. She wants that 10th house highest potential, right? If you take it not just the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn, the planet of boundaries, but is a slow mover, right? The mountain goat, yes, it can skip around its mountain, but it doesn't run up and down it all day long, right? It's slow and steady wins the race. This is Pasoi, the buffalo woman, right? So there is abundance here, but it's something that is done over time. Saturn, the Greek name, Kronos, the god of time, the one who ate the Olympians and then threw them up. The Titanomachy. But what he's got, I'm loving this, temperance, again, sort of that thing of, you know, wants to heal, wants to balance, wants to be patient, wants to be tempered. Now, I've learned so many new interpretations of the word temperance over my lifetime. And the one that's working best for me right now has become, oh, there's a blue jay. My blue jays keep visiting me. Like, it's like constant totemic experience around here. The refining of metal, the restoration of like iron things. Watch the videos on YouTube. Austin Restoration is the one that got me hooked. Now I'm watching a whole bunch of different ones. It's so amazing what they do. The process of electrolysis, how they electrify this metal in acid or salt water. It's so symbolic of spiritual awakening. Like, it shocks me sometimes how like into it I get, right? But it's a process. It takes time to go from, I don't know, like a rusted bayonet to something that has a mirror, polish, shine on it, right? And that's the process. Maybe even wanting to do the work here, if this temperance is about healing and balancing this contract, if they have had warrior, avenger, shadow moments together. Again, it's a general read. I don't know whether you know each other or not. Come for a private reading. It's very easy to book me for a reading. I do it on Skype, Facebook Messenger, and landline. I do landline rarely. But you just add me on Facebook. I have people who are creating accounts just so that they can get a reading with me, because we do it on Facebook Messenger chat. We talk just like this, except we can see each other, which is way more fun. All right, so with all that, slow and steady wins the race. What they have to help them get there... Oh, fuck. They have to deal with their overthinking. Her with the 9 of Swords, him with the 8 of Swords. So he's sort of stuck in a trap, a mental trap, and she's really being very critical, overthinking. Now, I will say the word criticism, which is written on the card, is not only a negative thing, right? Critical focus, critical care unit, critical writing, critical, you get what I mean? It's like detailed, it's oriented, but it feels like her focus, in other words, it's not like she needs to be more critical to get what she wants here. But I think when you're pairing it with what she wants with a Capricorn, we're looking about really focusing on the detail, really making sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that stable thing has been looked over. I know we just came out of Mercury retrograde, but it almost has that feeling of it. Let me make sure I'm good within myself. I'm clear within myself, right? Because strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. There's a lot of thought, a lot of thinking going on here, and because it's what she has to help her get what she wants in this contract, I'm going to say that's a necessary part of it. Better to overthink before acting than not think at all and react right from the shadow, right? Well, he's got the 8 of Swords with temperance, so it feels like he's being held in a mental crucible himself, right? So both of them are a little stuck in their element of earth, because they're both thinking, right? It feels like they are fixed in their element of earth because of air. So there may be some circular thinking here, some catch-22 thinking, a lot of looping, right, of the same thing over and over and over and over again in the mind. So it's going to take... I get why he wants that temperance, to bring himself into balance and to do what is necessary, right? To patience, self-healing, but again, as one of them heals themselves, they're bringing the other along, whether you know them or not. Which is why, if you don't know each other, when you finally do meet in the 3D, right, in the physical form, and you start comparing things, you're like, oh my God, I went through that too at the same time. And you're like, oh my God, it's such a synchronicity. No, it was happening simultaneously to help you get ready to meet. It's how it works from what I understand. Let's move on. Since we have element of air prominent in the element of earth, what are they thinking in their element of air? Oh, well, she's got the card of the witch, so she's thinking about, what do I got to do? This makes sense now. She's like, okay, I got to focus. I've got to put my mental energy in the right place. I've got to make sure the details are there, because she is casting, right? She is drawing something down from the higher chakras, the higher dimensions down into form. Now that's the thing, we think we create that. We're the channels through which it comes, and I don't like that word, but it is what it is, right? It's all part of the divine plan and our soul contract. So this is part of her empowering herself, I'm feeling, in terms of being a warrior, but really focusing on the element of air, her thoughts, her beliefs, maybe even trying to see through illusions, delusions, deceptions. What is it? Lies, illusions, deceptions, and delusions, right? Her own, maybe something else that's going on. It just feels like almost like a hyper-vigilant Amazon, right? Because it's a divine feminine warrior. Diana on too much caffeine. And what's he got there? 4 swords. Right, 4 swords. So mental rest, going inside. So there's a lot of air going on for him. So there's probably no communication between these two. At least I'm not seeing an open flow of that. So they might be very much taking action in their own lives separately, that whether they know each other or not, whether they've been together before or not, the contract is preparing them. So that introspection, that meditation, that rest, looking inward, and I would think for that temperance. All right, these seem like very dynamic people here. Let's see, what are they feeling? Element of water. Well, here we have our major arcana cards, and what major arcana cards they are. We've got the Death card, the Phoenix for her, and the Devil card, Pan, for him. They are going through it on the inner. Her transforming, alchemizing, probably rising from ashes. Oh, this isn't the first major arcana card. He's got Temperance, she's got the Witch. But the first where it's mirrored, where they both have it in the element of emotion. So she's feeling a huge emotional rebirth, right? Perhaps there was an emotional death here. That's why the Capricorn thing of wanting something slow and steady wins the race, highest potential, maybe even just for her own soul, whatever's going on, but really like watching every single thing about what she's thinking and what she's feeling, bring it in, because there is a transformation, a death and rebirth. It feels like from what's going on here, though, that the death part is behind her. This is about rising from the ashes while he's in chains, right? He's feeling trapped. Now that does go with what's going on here, but if he can get, it's a mental thing, that emotionally what's going on, what he's feeling as a result of what he's thinking and how he's thinking. So that desire for temperance, right, to break those chains of illusion and set all things to right, reveal what has been hidden and bring the truth to light. It's a little spell I wrote a long time ago. It's very easy, rhyming couplets. The charmed school of spell casting. So yeah, I'm going to say with the Death and the Devil card here on the table, these two, I would think, if they know each other, there is a past here, and it is one that is turbulent, almost to the point where I would say emotionally, if they know each other, this could appear like a twin flame contract. Again, watch the difference. Some of those videos down there you might find interesting, because they're torturous, right? The other take that I get on this, if they know each other, it's like he feels emotionally bound. Not just an emotional connection, but chained to. Like can't get away from. So there's an interesting thing here. If the Avenger is really going to balance the scales of justice here, has to be within himself, right? To really balance that with the Temperance card. I get it. I get it. So much of these chains of the devil here are thought created. They really are. And that's true for all of us, right? The things we believe, right? Not that fear is the enemy. It's an intuitive response telling you that change is coming and possible loss. Sometimes change means gain. Sometimes change means loss. So it's really an intuitive hit. And the more we repress it, the more it possesses us, right? Repress to be possessed. Speaking of which, what's going on in this card of spirit here? Well, two fire cards. We've got the Two of Flames for her, the position, the voice of the soul, and the Seven of Wands. Now, it's wands and flames. It's the same thing in both decks, essentially. But the Two of Flames definitely talks about the soul saying, get ready, girl. Right? Pick your position here. Get your act together. There's action to be taken here. The Two of Flames, Mahuea, juggles two fireballs, essentially, in her hands. You ready? right? Because that three of wands is then like that waiting for the opportunity. So this is getting, this could certainly be an indecision card, but it's saying make the choices that you need to make, the decisions to get yourself ready, to get stable, because there may be a waiting period here too, and maybe that's it. Maybe she does have some couple of choices and decisions. Feels more like choices than decisions about what she wants to do here. But the Seven of Swords, he's got battles to fight. He's got necessary hoops to jump through, says the soul of the divine masculine, right? There are just certain things for these two to get together that he has to kind of manifest into form. Now, that could be anything considering 2020, right? This could be jumping through hoops of self-esteem. This could be jumping through hoops of employment, of finances, of physical health, of family issues, right? Well, and then that would also indicate why he might be feeling chained due to obligations. Now, I will say in the book Mastery of Love by Don Miguel Ruiz, everybody knows 4 agreements pretty much, but Mastery of Love is the application of the 4 agreements in relationships of all kinds. But he says love has no obligation. Like, that's true love. And that's hard. I'm not saying that's an easy thing. Well, we are born like that, but the conditioning comes in from everyone we meet, essentially, after that. So the chains, yes, they are chains of thought. That's all they are. That's all they are, beliefs. Like, if he's afraid, for instance, of tribal dictate, right? If these two were to get together, right? Maybe they're on different sides of different issues, or very, very different people, family issues and all that. He's going to find that that's not the case. Right, that there's a lot of self-imposed stuff here, hence the stuckness. So we really have 2 cards of stuckness here, and it does feel like physically the mind is curtailing movement here, but that Devil card, the fear, is holding things back, or they are really, really feeling chained, perhaps to this one, no matter what they do, and they're afraid of that, which is understandable too. And when there's nothing you can do to let go of somebody, you begin to wonder, is there something wrong with me, or is this a soul contract? So let me pop up the picture for you. We've got your 12 cards on the table. I'll see what else I can see for you, and then I'll give you a little blessing, and then comes the preview. Cool, cool. Here we go. Breathe. Magic clap. We have the Divine Feminine as the warrior archetype here, or she has the warrior archetype. The shadow attributes: trading ethical principles for victory at any cost, indifference to the suffering inflicted on others. The light attribute: strength, skill, discipline, and toughness of will, heroism, stoicism, and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego. I mean, it's so Diana of Themyscira. I mean, really, right? And what she wants is that earth energy of the crone of Pentacles, Capricorn, Passoe, the buffalo woman, right? Very much a teacher, very much a way shower, because she has already climbed the mountain, right? So she knows the paths and she knows the way. So maybe there is a thing here for the warrior to really take the hero's journey, the warrior's path through this, but with guidance, with grace, with wisdom. 10th house, highest potential. Highest potential isn't just handed to you. It is a journey. And if we knew what our highest potential was, we would run in the opposite direction, which is why so often when real love, true love shows up in relationships, somebody bolts, because it's actually your highest potential, but it's not easy, right? And so her having the Nine of Blades in the Earth position there, that card of criticism, this can very much be about really being aware of what's going on inside of her, particularly with that Witch card and the Phoenix coming up next. So maybe a bit more centrally focused on herself, but with that Capricorn card, if that's really what that light attribute, the light attribute of the warrior, stoicism and self-sacrifice and conquering the ego, that she might really be doing some more intense inner work, at least mentally, psychologically. Because even moving into the position of air there, we've got the card of the Witch. There are inspirations that are bringing in ideas that she is choosing, that she is feeling, that she's making choices and decisions and bringing it into physical form, or at least is contemplating that. You could even say her mind is being used as a conduit of divine manifestation. That's a bit much, but yeah, particularly on the inside with the Phoenix, right? The Death card. And I'm really not getting reduced to ashes here. I'm getting rising from, particularly with that chew of flames, Mahueha, that juggling of fire. It's like the soul is saying, you're becoming more empowered. Yes, you went through something that was hard, most likely. I don't know, call it 2020 in and of itself. But she has been forged, which is interesting, that card of the Temperate. Like, I almost want to say what's missing here is the Temperance card, but I think it's happening faster than the Temperance here, really, with the witch, the magician, and the phoenix in the water. So let me jump over here to the divine masculine, the avenger, resorting to violence in the name of a cause. Now remember, violence isn't always physical. With the amount of air we've got going on here, this could be mental violence, even within the self, which we see with that Eight of Swords, but we'll get there in a minute. The light attributes desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Now, I just got that. That's really that Temperance. That I feel like some shit went down between these two, and the scales were wicked unbalanced, or tilting to one side. That this might have been something that was very rough between the two of them, and so now they're really getting active in their own lives. But with that Temperance, what they want is, I kind of feel like they want to heal this relationship. They want to balance the scales. They at least want to come forth, and if not give an apology, then give an explanation. You know, so many times we create stories in our heads about why people do what they do, and then when we find out what actually went down, when it's the actual truth, not just, you know, a lie, a deception, or an excuse, right? But it's like, this happened, this person died, so I couldn't be there. We're like, oh my God, right? And suddenly that whole story is unraveled. That they might have had no other choice. There might not have been any other way. It couldn't have happened any other way. It was just the way it was written on their soul's journey as well as yours. And with that Eight of Swords, I keep hearing looping thought, right? It's like cyclic thought, the same thing. Can't reach a conclusion because there's no clarity on it, bound by either tribal dictate or false belief, and with that Devil card, probably false belief, fearful belief, chains from the past that are really bleeding over into this contract so it can be healed. That's why I love doing the soulmate reads, because at least whatever toxicity shows itself, it shows you what's being healed, whether these two know each other or not, meet each other or not, blah, blah, blah. So with that Four of Swords, I don't feel like there's communication between these two, again, whether they know each other or not, but more introspection, more meditation, really looking inward. But what the divine masculine is finding there is his fears waiting for him, that Devil card, the restraints, and it might even be that thing, like, remember, all tarot is neutral. It could be that thing of, I can't get away from this person, like, I cannot stop feeling what I'm feeling, and it scares me. And that would say that these two have known each other and have danced together, and I don't think it went well. But with that Seven of Wands, the point of view of the soul is saying this can work, because contracts are written the way they're written, whether you come together or not. You're going to help each other heal. But it feels like he's got his work laid out ahead of him. If you go from the Six of Wands, victory, this is now the return journey, right? Having to defend the Golden Fleece in this particular deck. The Wands is Jason and the Argonauts, the quest of the Golden Fleece. So this is, you know, still having to kind of jump through the hoops and do through the things necessary, but I feel like a lot of that is inside of him. But I even think in terms of his yang, his external world outside of him, there's lots of challenges ahead of him. So for a divine feminine warrior and a divine masculine avenger here, they're reading sort of mirroring each other, right? We've got two major arcana cards each, right? The Witch and the Death card, the Phoenix card for the divine feminine, Temperance and the Devil. This is really a very tricky balance here, but one that with Leo energies, if they can really catch the bravery, right, of alchemizing that warrior archetype and that avenger archetype into the light, this is going to go much easier for them, because I feel a love here. It's very obscured because it has been tested and failed, but I don't think this story is done. In fact, it's not done, because soulmate contracts, all you have to do to survive them, all you have to do to fulfill them is survive them, but there's unfinished business here, no question. And again, if you don't know each other, that means that there's unfinished business before you two met. And that's the case anyway, right? It can be both, right? You can have unfinished business before you met this person from them, or you get what I'm saying. So there you have it, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. May the Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need to heal, to grow, to learn, to become the best that they can be, to manifest the happy, healthy, wealthy, wise, intimate, sexual, satisfying soulmate contract shown here for their well-being individually, for their well-being as a couple, and for the well-being of all of us in the quantum field, that we may benefit from their love and they may benefit from ours, for the well-being of all. So mote it be. And so it is. Thank you for watching. Please do like, subscribe, wait for the preview. It's coming up. And comment, Leos. Use your voice. Use your words. Let me know if this makes sense to you. Who is who in this? Because I like the feedback, to be totally honest with you. I am Leo rising. Of course I like the feedback. Otherwise, wishing you all the very best and the very blessed of all of this soulmate stuff. Hail, farewell, and blessed be. Welcome back, my Leo collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus sign. Whether you are watching the preview or you've already made the jump over to Vimeo.com, let's pick up where we left off. Literally about a minute passed in between hitting the record button off and hitting it on again. Had a sip of coffee. I'm ready to rock and roll. Like I said, in the YouTube version of this, you had a 13th card already on the table. The archetypal power representing the contract itself. So if you like, you could say there's her, there's him, and then there's them on an archetypal level. And this will kick off what I call the center lane, the actual contract, the base of the contract itself, at least for November 2020. So we've got the warrior archetype, Divine Feminine, the Avenger archetype, Divine Masculine, both action family, and the contract itself is the Divine Child. Wow. Wow. Was not expecting that. No one expects the Divine Child Spanish Inquisition. This is a very, very powerful archetype. I mean, everybody has a child archetype. Actually, you can have all of the sub-patterns, the Divine Child, the Wounded Child, the Magical Child, the Orphan Child. Oh, God, they're on and on and on. There's so many of them, right? The Nature Child. Oh, Nature Boy. But this one particularly I resonate with. I have the Divine Child. We're all children of the Divine, but this is a specific soul pattern. Check this out. This is like the third person in the relationship, but the relationship being that entity. The shadow attribute, inability to defend oneself against negative forces. And look at the negative forces that are going on the planet right now, right? So it might be these two are in separation from each other just because of that. It's like they're being protected, that to bring them together right now, they would not be able to defend their relationship, their power, whatever this contract is, but the light attribute. Innocence, purity, and redemption. See, some shit went down between these two. I'm really feeling, well, again, if they don't know each other, then they're going to redeem themselves in this contract from whatever they've been before they met. But I feel like these two have had a rough, rocky road for a soulmate contract, right? So innocence, purity, and redemption suggests a special connection with the divine. And this is a soulmate contract, but all of the ones that I do as soulmate contracts are divine contracts, right? About the evolution of the soul and the awakening of planet Earth, because individually it's called spiritual awakening. Collectively it's called the planetary ascension. I know I'm not thrilled with the words either, but what are you going to do? You gotta speak the lingo. Yeah, Armageddon sounds much better. It's the same fucking thing. Wow. I mean, that really changes it, that there is an innocent, divine quality here. I feel like if these two have hit a rough patch, not in communication, at least not now, that there is an innocence returning to this, that what went down might very well have to do with childhood issues on both sides, right? Particularly the inability to defend oneself against negative forces. That can indicate the runaway child, right? The one who just runs, right? The opposite of the chaser. Now you have the chaser and the runaway. The healthy archetype is the walker, right? That they walk together. Nobody's chasing, nobody's running here. I wonder if that dynamic is in here. Well, we're going to find out. Because all the tarot that we've done, we're still going to do a past, present, future timeline coming up here. But the next thing we're going to do is keep building this center lane with some oracles to get some real divine point of view. And with that divine child, let's get up in this gig. We're going to use the Healing with the Angels Oracle. Doreen Virtue. What is the angel assigned to this contract? Breathe.